Hello, everyone. Welcome to WinCat Sports, and we're going to start something that we don't usually do, but we're going to try and keep it up with it this year. We're going to talk college football. At least try to do it on a weekly basis. We're going to do a little pregame for Michigan and Michigan State. And even though me and my dad here are mostly Michigan fans, we're not so diehard. We won't talk about State. So we're kind of going to bring both around in the same video, kind of talk about them both and go from there. But we'll start with the Michigan side of things, since I know he's looking up some Michigan stuff right now. On top of I got the schedule up. They start the week against Fresno State, or start the year against Fresno State. Obviously, I think for us both agree that Michigan should handle business against Fresno State.
Well, they should. I mean, and I've tried to talk to people, and we don't do a ton of, we don't have a ton of connections there, but the orgy's going to start. I don't know how good he is. They say he's a lot like Joe Milton, strong arm, mobile. We'll see how it works out. We're ranked number 8. I don't know if that's kind of like just
it's the lowest for
thinking, and we're not. Florida State lost a lot of players too, and you saw what happened to them.
They lost to Georgia
Tech. So we lost a ton of players. Plus, we lost Jim Harbaugh. We've been going through a lot of things. I have no idea what Michigan's going to look like, and so I'm kind of giving them a pass this year.
And for us, like, again, we're not big college football people. We don't keep up with it as much. So, like, we have barely any idea of who to look out for. Obviously, like, Donovan Edwards, we both know who he is. Right. He's, like, the only big name that I know coming back from last year.
Right. So, and because so often, like last year, I mean, there wasn't really a game worth watching until Ohio State or later in the year. I mean, it was
really a lot more games to watch this year.
There's a lot of games. So I'm kind of looking forward to it and getting back into watching college football this year.
We're going to learn about some people as we go through it, too.
I'm excited for Michigan State, too.
We'll get into Michigan State as we
did not go to either one of the schools, so we don't have any. I mean, we like Michigan better, but maybe. I have nothing against Michigan State, though. I like Michigan State.
Besides being, I lean more towards Michigan, but I mean, I don't have.
I think that's just because that's what it's been in this state.
I just don't overall, right? Like, I don't have the time to watch college football as much, so my in-depth analysis on college football is far less than would it be NFL.
We're kind of like novices. We'll just be the regular Joes who go out there and, we watch football. I mean, we watch the games that matter. And for Michigan, that's pretty much starts in week 8 or something like that.
Well, usually it does. This year, that's not the case.
It's not the case, right? So Michigan, it's going to be much more fun to watch them play Texas and play, former Pac-10 teams.
Pac-12.
I think, like I said, I've heard Oregon is favored to win the conference.
Well, Oregon and Ohio State are the favorites.
Right.
Are the favorite to be 1 and 2. And obviously, again, it comes down to Michigan is ranked lower. It's the lowest they've been ranked. A defending national champion has been ranked going into the new year. And that is due to them losing a lot of players. They lose your head coach. They're even still under scrutiny for some scandals. And I know there's people who watch this video who are going to go in the comments and potentially say that Michigan's cheaters and they didn't deserve it, yeah. Even so, right, if you get the national championship, you're being watched like a hawk and you still win. Like,
I think I take the obvious, and it's a very cynical way of looking at it. It depends on what they did. Is it really... I think I'm one of those people who feels that corruption is rampant in these sports where billions of dollars are, made. And I just feel what they did didn't really warrant all that big a punishment. Chased Harbaugh away. I think Harbaugh would have stayed if it hadn't been for all this stuff. And I think it's a detriment to the Big Ten not to have Jim Harbaugh around, and not to have Michigan being one of the teams that vies for the championship.
Yeah, I mean,
you need Michigan to be good. I want Michigan to be good. I want Ohio State to be good. I want Michigan State to be good.
Yes,
I want good matchups week in and week out. I know it can't be every week, but I mean, I more weekends than not, I'd like to be able to see a good matchup.
Yes.
And
I mean,
I'm
you
tired
got
of the Rutgers and the Illinois and
you,
the Indianas that I don't know.
you got a
It
game right now like Michigan against Fresno State, where Michigan has an 89% chance to win. Like, obviously, there's not going to be too many Michigan fans staying up at looking at 7:30 at night to go watch Michigan beat up on Fresno State. Like, I do not have any care in the world to go turn this game on. Obviously,
right.
I'll be at work too.
I
But
do have an interest to watch this game in the sense that I know nothing about Michigan. I don't know who this Orgy guy is who's probably starting, and I know, like I said, the running backs Edwards. But I'm just curious to see what kind of team they are and what they look like. Now, if they go out, beat the crap out of Fresno, I kind of, by 4 or 5 touchdowns, then I'm feeling pretty good. I'm
yeah,
feeling they're still a viable team. But if they go out and play a close game to Fresno, then I know they're in trouble.
yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
and so, I mean, I am curious. I am interested in watching, and I'm interested in watching State because they got a new coach.
you got a new
I
coach.
think they have at least a legit college quarterback this year, and I want to see, what they look like. It's going to take a few years, I guess, for State, but
You got a new
I'm
coach. We'll see.
impressed.
We'll see what happens.
I'm hopeful.
I don't know who their quarterback is going to be because I don't keep up with State as much, but we are going to lean into State now a little bit.
Right, their quarterback is going to be that transfer from Aiden Childs. I forgot what school he came from. Was it out Washington? Washington
No,
State?
maybe
I think it was Washington
Oregon
State.
State.
It was Oregon State. Okay.
He followed the coach
Right,
over.
right. The coach brought him in, Aiden Childs, and I hear he's pretty good. Um, at, at least compared to what we've seen Michigan State throw out lately, he is a legit college quarterback. So, and they've gotten a few transfers.
But
So I'm
I know
kind
some
of
people
excited
follow.
to see what happens.
I know some people followed the new guy. I forget what his name is, but Smith, I think, is his last name. But
Jonathan Smith, yeah.
but he did good in Oregon State. I mean, that it's kind of what they're looking at, right? In Michigan State, you want a better coach after Mel Tucker came in and kind of blew up the program after Dan Antonio left. But I mean, again, they have a much easier schedule than Michigan, and to kind of get yourself, let's say you lose all your big matchups, if even if Michigan State lost to Ohio State, Oregon, and Michigan, it's still a 3-loss season. You have the chance to really beat everybody else on your schedule. You're going to have some tough matchups. Like Purdue might be as good as you if you haven't improved much from last year. Iowa is probably better than you, but you play them at home. So I mean, you have a chance to make at least a little bit of a step up this year, and prove that you could be a program of the future.
Well, I mean,
Looking
they
at
have
it.
9 transfers that are starting. 4 on offense, 5 on defense.
Well, outside of their
And-
4 big, they're not playing Penn State this year. They only have 4 games where they're going to have trouble, and they're all together. Where you play Ohio State, Oregon, Iowa, Michigan, back to back.
I expect Michigan State to be better than 500.
They have a really good chance if they play well. Maryland might not be the easy team to beat, but also at the same time, they very well could be. We don't know what these guys are going to be like this year.
I don't know. I'm hopeful, but like I said, they have 9 transfers starting. You can, if you know what you're doing and you get lucky and you get some talent, this NIL thing and the transfer portal, you can rebuild your team pretty quickly if you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. You get the right guy in there. Let's see if Smith is. I mean, they're playing Florida Atlantic, right? So, I mean, again, they should start the season out with a win against them. They have a 66% chance to win according to ESPN, and they should win. If they lose to Florida Atlantic at home to start the year, it's like
That would be bad.
it'd be bad.
That would be bad.
That shows you how the rest of the year is going to go. Michigan could accidentally blow up against Fresno State, and here's the problem. Kind of going quick back to Michigan before we go back to Michigan State. Michigan, if they don't win a lot of games this year, all the stuff from last year, scandal wise, is going to all come back. If you play well, you'll shut people up, but people are going to bring it up if you don't play well. Michigan
I think that's
State,
unfair. I mean, you lost a lot of players in the draft.
yes, but that don't matter.
You also lost a legendary coach.
But don't matter.
You're replacing him with a coach with a big question mark of whether he can handle this. You cannot expect them to
That
be in the national championship
that
talk
that,
this year,
that
or
don't
even
matter.
in the playoff talk. Really, it's right. If they make the playoffs, with this team, with this all this going on, that's a hell of a thing. You got
I'm
to
saying
pat them
don't.
on the back.
I'm just saying don't be surprised. But back into Michigan State because we're on Michigan State, not Michigan. They have a good chance to start the year out at least 4-0, at least 3-1 at worst because you play FAU, Maryland, Prairie View, and Boston College. Before you go into your big four games, you should be 3-1 at least if you are going to prove something. If you're 2-2 or if you're 1-3 coming out of that first four games, that is a bad sign
Well, it is.
for the rest of the year. These first four games should tell you as a Michigan State fan where you're at because you're not playing anyone difficult. Unlike Michigan, who plays a couple difficult teams in the beginning, Michigan should at least be 500 through their first four after playing Fresno State, Texas, Arkansas State, and USC. You could lose to Texas and USC, and we will know how the year's going to go. You should be an okay team as long as the USC team game and Texas game are close. But that Texas game is going to be the one that actually tells you what's going on. But I expect both teams to win the first week, and I feel like you're on par with that.
Right.
Both teams will win, and like I said,
yeah.
these first few games will be the test of what the season is. But this is a new thing for us. We're going to dive more into college football as time
Trying to
goes
be
on.
more informed when we talk about it.
But
We're
we'll
kind
get
of
through the year.
We're fans, but we're not like super knowledgeable about all the inner workings of what Michigan's doing and what Michigan State's doing.
No, I don't got time for all that. But we will do our best
I'd
give
rather explore
some.
the hockey part. But,
I no one wants to come watch college hockey.
I think people should watch college hockey.
College hockey can be entertaining. But
It's pretty darn good.
with all that being said, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think about the college football round, what Michigan might do, what Michigan State might do. And until next time, see everybody soon.